This industrial site in Malmö is where a bygone era saw 6,000 dedicated and competent craftsmen of Kockums shipyard building tankers and other ships up to 350,000 tons deadweight. Saab then took over the site and now builds cars here, knowing full well that the most serious problem facing today's and tomorrow's industry is to recruit and retain personnel. This stems from the fact that people are no longer willing to work in a traditional car production line. The work is far too tedious and boring. To make their jobs attractive, people must be given a sense of involvement and responsibility. The work must be interesting and must promote personal development. The working environment must also be pleasant and clean. At the Malmö plant, Saab has solved these problems in a way that satisfies the company's demands for good productivity and the individual's demands for job satisfaction. Saab leafed back through history books to the days when craftsmen commanded respect and when all those working in a small workshop could turn their hands to almost any job. Saab has abandoned the traditional organization structure and adopted a new, flexible organization, the basis of which is the product workshop. Each of the 8 product workshops manufactures one of the functional elements of the car. Chassis Workshop 1 and Chassis Workshop 2, Engine Workshop, Fascia Workshop, Glazing Workshop, Interior Workshop, Door Workshop and Finishing Workshop. In addition, the organization includes a Goods Receiving Workshop. The Product Workshop consists of a number of production teams of 6 to 10 people, the actual number being adjusted to suit the production volume. The group is headed by a team leader who serves as the interface between the team and its surroundings. The task of the leader is rotated amongst the members of the team. Job rotation is the keynote at Malmö. Each employee is expected to broaden his knowledge so that he can handle all of the tasks within his product workshop. The more he knows, the better his opportunities for job rotation. Workers carry out a much wider variety of tasks than is normal in a conventional industrial structure. The team runs its own production, allows time off to its members, signs on new team members, prepares its own work instructions, purchases materials and so on. These tasks are also rotated amongst the members of the team, depending on the level of competence each member has reached. The job rotation and interaction principles are extended beyond the production team, to the product workshop executives and to the factory management. Moreover, since the organizational structure is simple, communication paths between the operators and those who manage and plan production are short. Every production team has its own personal computer, which is linked to the factory's central computer. This is essential if the team is to operate as a separate profit center. Based on the overall targets for the factory, the team prepares its own targets and bears the responsibility for meeting them. And the target is the same as for any independent workshop: to supply its customer with a certain number of units produced to a certain standard of quality. In this case, the customer is a production team in the next product workshop. The body is always stationary when work is being done on it, be it in parallel assembly or in line assembly. In parallel assembly, the body remains on a stand secured to the floor until all work has been completed. The body is not transferred to the next station until the operator has inspected and approved the quality and given a release signal by pressing a button. The body is collected by an automatically guided vehicle and is transferred to the next product workshop. Line assembly is employed in some cases when the work demands a high degree of mechanization involving very expensive equipment. The operators in line assembly also determine their own pace of working. The car remains in place until the operator has signalled that the work has been completed and inspected. So the work need not necessarily be done as quickly as possible. The emphasis at Malmö is on doing the job correctly right from the start. This method of working has also shed a different light on the flow of materials. Instead of passing through the central stores, half of the materials are delivered directly to the place of production. This applies, for instance, to engines, axles and other heavy components. General materials such as screws, nuts and bolts and other basic parts which are common to all cars are placed in special trolleys in batches, which are sufficient for a production period of between half a day and 3 days. Every product workshop has its own stocks, from which the team member who is responsible for supplies on that particular day picks the various materials needed in his team's production. Components that are specific to each car variant are packed into boxes, and the boxes are placed in the corresponding cars. So each car carries its own materials, which saves time and prevents mistakes. This is a far cry from the traditional approach to materials flow, which was rather like a car being pulled through a parts store. Saab's Malmö plant was designed to meet 4 objectives: high quality, high productivity, a flexible production system and good working conditions. At this brand new plant, the company's productivity demands go hand in hand with the needs of employees for a satisfying and stimulating job.